Are we back? Well, I think I'm in the call. I don't know what happened. Okay, well, Tully can hear me. Well, that's good. Where's where's Moo? Moo is missing. That's not good. Missing Moo. And it's funny because I got the email that directly to me saying join the event, and it let me join it. Yeah, and I even got a Google notification that I've been invited to join. Very strange. Oh, now they're giving me a little. I clicked it off and it's giving me a little bell. All caught up. Oh my goodness. And we are live. Well, I am live, talking to the computer and the people in the chat room. Uh-oh. MacGyver did not get the event. No. I got the event. I got it fine. Although it said it came from Jason. Oh, now Tully's got the old file. What we've done already. Ay, ay, ay. Those gnomes! Fix the portal! Those engineers, send them back to school. Apparently they need to fix the portal. Yes, MacGyver. Useless, stupid, annoying, pointless things. Or as I used to call it, helpless help. I hear something! Ah!
Now, the irritating thing, hi Tulu, can you hear me? Yeah,
Hopefully Tully can hear us both.
yeah, okay.
Let's.
Essentially, what happened for some reason when we started the broadcast earlier, it didn't register that, even though it was the event that we were broadcasting, it didn't register that event as the event we were broadcasting. And so what it's done is it's recorded everything we've done up until now and posted that as episode 75.
No!
So what I'm dreading is that when we finish this one and it uploads it and saves it, that it will overwrite everything we have done. So what I'm going to do first...
No overwriting.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try.
Can you change the name or change the
No, what I'm going to
75A or 75
no, what I'm
continuation?
going to try and do is download it because I've got to stitch it all together as a show anyway.
Oh, download it now before it overwrites so that
That's,
you at least have a copy of it. Good idea. Yeah, do it now.
I'm going to try and do. So
Do it
just bear
now.
with us for a minute, Sully. I'm sorry, this is
Do it now.
really bad.
Fix it.
Let's see. I need to edit.
Fix it and forget it.
I need to edit. I need to know. I need to download. Oh God, why does it do this?
I don't know.
Oh my God. No, I don't want to play it. I want to download it. No, I'm not donating. I want to download it. Video channel. Custom thumbnail. I want a custom thumbnail.
custom thumbnail. Oh,
I
good
don't
lord.
want a custom thumbnail. I want to... Oh my god. Oh my god, stop it. I don't want that. I don't want that either. I don't want that either. And I don't want that. And I don't want that. What I want is to download it as an MP4. I don't want to edit it online. I want to download it. I can't download it. They've changed it again.
What do you mean you can't download it?
What I used to be able to do is download it. Ah, there it is. Finally, they've moved it. Download as an MP4. The way it used to work is you'd post the video and then you could just download it as an MP4 in the Creator Studio.
Oh.
And they've moved where it used to be. So, okay, so it's now downloading that episode.
Oh my goodness.
I know, it just, my God. How big is that? Is that the right size? 139. Okay, good. So
I wouldn't know if it's the right size.
No, that's all right. I'm talking to myself. It's all right. 70. Oh, it's an MP4 video. Don't. Okay, I'll just have to see if that opens later on.
Well, check it now. Make sure it opens. Don't wait, because if it doesn't open, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, but I just want to download the audio. See, when I used to download MP4, it would just download it as an MP4 audio file. Now it's downloading as like an MP4 video file. Come on, hurry up. Oh my God. This is so hard. Why does it have to be so hard?
Because it's Google.
Yeah, well, okay, can't open it with Audacity. Can't open it with Audacity, then I can't edit it. If I can't edit it, then there's no point. Come on. Okay, well, it's importing it. Man, this is going to be a very edit-heavy episode. By the time it's finally posted, at least. He realizes I'm control. Okay, good. All right, I appear to have it. All right, so if it overwrites it later, at least I've got another copy. Okay, now we'll pick this back up. What is it, 10 past? We'll pick this back up again. Okay, had we finished with the toy box? I think so.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so I'll pick this up again from the ad break. So if we're ready, I'll go now. Okay, so if you're looking for a new domain and you're currently paying too much for your current domain, then you should try Namecheap. They have domains starting at $4 a year and transfers at $5 a year. Sign up through our show for these and other great deals at warcraft.chaosportalshow.com/Namecheap, or click on the links in our sponsor section on the website. Namecheap also offer dynamic DNS options for your domain so that you can host from home. So if you're using an ISP that dynamically allocates an IP address to you every time, if you have dynamic DNS, your DNS automatically updates to point whatever your blah blah blah.com address is to your home site whenever it changes. And that is a very handy and useful thing if you want to host stuff out of your home and control everything yourself. So now that we've gone on to that and we've resolved a couple of our minor technical difficulties, which if you're listening to this on the download, you shouldn't have even noticed, hopefully, I think we might move on to our next topic. What do you reckon?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Okay,
Portal.
let's kick that
Let's
portal.
kick it.
I'm going to kick it really hard because I'm cranky now. Okay, so this topic is an idea to optimize inventories. and it is from Ashas, who is a level 100 Blood Elf Paladin from the Aimesta or Kakoi Guild on Sylvanas. Now, although they're a Blood Elf Paladin, apparently it's a neutral guild. I don't know how that works. I think that might be a bug.
Well, what's a neutral guild?
Well, I'm guessing it's neither Alliance nor Horde, but I don't see how that could be possible. So I think it might be a bug, considering they're a Blood Elf. So let's say that they're a Horde guild.
Oh yeah, it says neutral guild, but it's in the Alliance color. That's weird.
I don't understand. I don't know. I'm going to put it down to just being a bug. So they have an idea to optimize inventories. Hi, I got this idea because I have many characters and professions are a pain, mainly because I have to send mats back and forth through the mail all the time. What if all characters shared non-soulbound items, and if characters also shared gold, so that you just added gold to your realm or faction? So this sounds a little bit like Diablo, but I'll go on. This, of course, is bound to your realm and faction. So let's say I have 3 Horde characters in Sylvanas, and instead of having to send golden mats from my main, can I just use them? Would you like shared inventories with your other characters? Also, bad slots would be added on top of each other. Let's say I got 4 Hexweave bags on all of them. I would have 12 times 30 plus 16 times 3 bags in total, and the spots with soulbound items would only be accessible to the character it's bound to. So this sounds a little bit like a Diablo style system where your stash in Diablo, which is like your bank, is actually shared cross account. So no matter what character you're on, if you go to your stash, it's the same stash. So if you put something in there on one character, it's available on the others, and that counts for gold as well. So your gold is account gold. So if you earn gold on one character, it's always available on other characters. Now, what do you think about this? Do you reckon that this would break too much in-game stuff to do this system? I wonder.
I wonder if it has to do with the because of the backpack. I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Yeah, there are some of those programming things.
Like if it's like one of those things that would, I mean, I don't know. It just, I like it. I think it'd be cool, so you don't have to like, because like for example, I have one character that I send all my herbs to.
Yeah.
Because she's a scribe, and so she uses the herbs, and then that's what I do. And I also have but in some ways it could be bad though, because like for example, I purposely send stuff that I want to put on the auction house to characters so that I don't accidentally delete or sell or vendor or so I don't accidentally do something, because I've been known to do that. Like I've been known to like say, okay, I want to hold on to a certain item, and then later on I might be like, yeah, I really don't want that axe anymore, I'm going to sell it on the auction house. Like I'll like think about it, but I'll send it to my one character, my auction house character. That's the only thing I can think of that it wouldn't really work, because a lot of people like they keep things separate for a reason. There's like reasoning behind it. Yeah, I don't know.
I think if you had a shared, I guess this is the thing, is that back in the old days, and I'm talking about the EverQuest days, right? So not even WoW, but playing on EverQuest. If you had a bank, that bank space was shared between all of your characters, okay? But I don't think that would work in WoW anymore, because we've all had individual banks on our characters for so long that if you suddenly said, okay, everybody now has the same bank, how would you combine the space of all of those banks? Because Diablo was introduced with this from the outset. They always had a stash that all characters could access and so on. But I don't think that you'd be able to do this anymore in WoW. They're not without increasing the bank space to be 11 times whatever the maximum bank space is now, which would be the number of turns.
Oh, yeah.
And can you imagine how hard that would be to manage? I don't think I'd be able to manage a bank that large.
No, I know. I know For sure, I agree. It would be very, very difficult. I don't like the way the current inventory system is set up in WoW to begin with.
Mm.
So I have an add-on called Addy Bags,
Ah,
which I really like because what it does is it like puts things into categories and separates
yeah,
things
yeah,
out for me. But could you imagine? Okay, let's just say, because there are those people who don't like add-ons, and I don't blame them. They don't.
yeah,
They prefer to have run a cleaner a UI and a cleaner play style, and that's what they like. But could you imagine if you were one of those players and
yeah.
you had to look through? I mean, talk about losing items. Oh my
Mhm,
gosh! I mean, the
mhm.
reagent bank helps, but still, I mean, I
Yeah,
agree with you. How would you? I don't know. To me, it sounds good in concept, but it's probably one of those things that would not work out in reality.
yeah, and I think it's one of those things that if it had been brought in at the very start, would have been fantastic. But at the point that we are now in the game, with the maturity of the game and the player base and how things have been for so long, I don't think, because for people who have got a lot of vaults, this would probably drastically reduce their amount of storage space. So I don't think it would be acceptable from that point of view.
Yeah. No,
I
I'll
do
make.
think it's a good idea, but yeah, I can't see it happening at this stage. No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah, it's a,
Yeah,
it's. I mean, I just don't think it's practical. It's.
yeah.
If it started out that way, it would have been okay, but no.
Yeah. I do, however, love the idea of gold being account, gold being account wide. Of course, you would have to raise the cap because there are probably people who have multiple gold capped on multiple characters. But if you, even if you split it, Horde versus Alliance on the same realm, if you could say, okay, all gold is now merged with all characters on this realm, I don't think that'd be a bad thing because gold doesn't take up bag space, so you wouldn't be reducing bag space. All you'd be doing is
Yeah,
making it
yeah.
more convenient.
Gold is one of those like the well, obviously it's currency, but it's a currency tab type item. So yeah, I could see that. Maybe there's a better solution if you want to be able to mail mats back and forth to you.
Yeah,
That I think is where the problem comes into is that you
yeah,
have your scribe and your scribe doesn't have the herbs your herber and miner have the herbs and the ore that you need, and then you end up having to send stuff back and forth. Maybe there's a better solution to, sending it back and forth.
yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. I'm,
Maybe like a
I'm.
button.
Well, what I mean, you mentioned the reagent bank before. What about an account-wide reagent? Well, a realm-wide
Now
reagent bank.
that I could see working. That I could
Yeah,
definitely see working.
yeah.
That
Again,
would be more feasible.
yeah. Again, it's been introduced only recently, but I guarantee that there are probably people who have filled up their entire reagent bank on several tunes, and so then you'd run into the
Oh yeah,
problem of,
yeah.
well, you'd have to increase the storage. But I think if the reagent bank had been introduced and said, okay, this is now faction and account wide, faction and server wide, so you could use all reagents on all characters on that faction on that server cluster. I think that would have been fantastic, but I don't know if you can shut that gate now. But if anything is interesting, I mean, they've already made things like the toy box, where you would have in the past had to collect a toy on multiple characters and used up bag slots, and now they've combined that into an account wide toy box. I think that it would be
Well, even
feasible, but I don't know
even
whether it would be done.
even before the toy box, the mounts and the
Yeah,
pets. There was a time when you used to have the
the
mount in
mounting
your
bag.
bags. And
Yes.
I can kind of see like people with pets like saying, I don't want to carry around a pet. I can
Mm,
kind of see that. But with mounts, you better believe your butt you'd be carrying around a mount. You didn't want to be
yeah.
stuck out somewhere
Yeah.
without a mount. You'd be like, hell
Exactly. Yeah.
no. My
Exactly.
horse
Yeah.
is coming along.
Yeah.
My horse isn't staying at
uh,
home.
yeah. All right. Well, I think that we've probably covered that off pretty well. I reckon we might move on to our next topic now. What do you reckon?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, let's do that then. Okay, and this one has come up for you. Do you want to take that away, Alice?
All right, let's see. We have from the U.S. Transmogrification Forums, new Air Jordan XXX Transmog. Apparently, there's a link to this. I guess it's a sneaker. And he says, I would love to be able to wear a pair of these while running up and ambushing people in the WoW universe. So much so that I'd pay $10. No, this is $10. There's a dollar sign there, so that's not gold. That is dollars for a fresh pair of J's. And I know a lot of people would agree. XD. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to. I don't know. Like if we should, troll.
$10 for a fresh pair of J's, meaning Jordans, I guess.
Yeah.
People would agree. I'd love to be able to wear a pair of these while running up and ambushing people. Now, Air Jordan, the next frontier of flight. Blah 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 blah. Okay.
Oh, wait, Air Jordan is the next frontier of flight.
Through an innovative reflective material never used by Jordan, the Jumpman within the toe box is invisible at some angles and appears at others. Okay. It's a shoe. It's a shoe.
It's a shoe.
It's a shoe. I mean, yeah, it's a Nike. It's an Air Jordan, but Well, actually, is it a Nike? I know. Oh no, it is. Yeah, there's a swoosh at the top. Okay, fair enough. I guess. Maybe a transmog item. I don't know. I wouldn't pay $10 for it.
You mean like the cosmetic, helmets that you can buy off the? Maybe.
You know what I would prefer. Rather
what would
than
you
this
prefer?
Rather than this one, I'm gonna pop a link in the chat. I'm gonna show you the sneakers that I would rather.
Oh,
I would rather.
You have late.
I'm going to drop this in the chat room. I want you to follow that link. These are the shoes that I would rather.
All right, let's see. Oh,
yeah. Now, just for those who are listening on the download, what I've just linked to Alice is not these very plain-looking new Air Jordans.
They look like regular sneakers. They look like regular sneakers. The ones that Moo has linked to describe these. These are quite incredible looking.
I will describe these in one word. They are from Back to the Future Part 2. They are the sneakers that Marty McFly wears with the bottom of the laces. Now, these shoes I have always wanted ever since I was a kid. If you put these in the gear store for $5 perhaps as a transmog item, I would seriously consider getting them. I'm going to admit that now. I would seriously consider.
But Natani says, but shoes don't go on cows anyway.
I know, it is so terribly frustrating.
I'm gonna qualify that. Okay. I ride horses. And horses, we actually have special shoes that we put on our horses. They're for endurance. They're not horseshoes. They're like boots. They're like little booties.
However, there is.
So why can't the cows have booties?
Because as a blood elf, you do not you transmog boots and you see boots on your feet. Okay.
Yeah.
If you are a Draenei, or a Pandaren, or a Tauren, if you look up my armory, you will notice that the boots do not actually go over my feet. They kind of go around the back of your ankle, and the hoofs stick out the bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
So any shoes or boots or anything that are transmog, they never appear on your feet. They appear on your kind of ankle.
Yes. Okay, I see what she's saying. Yes, that's true.
I know that for the technically minded and the scientists among us, yes, I realise that Draenei and Tauren are digitigrade, which means that they actually walk on their toes, not their feet. I get that, but for the purposes of gameplay, well, I'm going to call it feet. So our hoofs stick out the bottom, and so any transmog doesn't really work. So yes, thank you, my darling wife, for shooting down my dreams of having Back to the Future Nikes transmogged onto my Tauren. But I still reckon they'd be very cool. Anyway, but yeah, I would. I don't know if I'd pay for. I mean, I wouldn't pay for the helm transmogs to start with. So, I don't know about that, but paid. That brings up a whole new topic of paid for transmogs, like transmog sets. If they brought out not just a helm but a whole transmog set that
Oh,
you
that'd be cool.
pay for a small price. I'm not talking like $20. That's way too much. But if you had a small price, would you consider that if it was the kind of transmog you liked, or are you philosophically opposed to that?
I like the idea as long as it's transmog and it's purely
Mm.
cosmetic. I
Mm-hmm.
do not like the idea that it's pay to win if it had
Mm.
any gear stats on it. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't particularly think the price point for $15 for a cosmetic helm is to me is too high.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I could see them doing it.
Mm.
Um, and would I necessarily pay for it? Not necessarily. That's not
No.
my. That's I'm not the target audience, as it
No.
were. However, I could see the validity of it, and I could see the reasoning behind it, and I don't have a
Mm.
problem with it.
Yeah.
Would I spend the $5? No. But why not? Why not have
Yeah.
items that are, and like I said, purely cosmetic. That would be the key, because you certainly don't want items that have any stats or anything like that to
No,
it.
and I think even if it's a cosmetic item, I think the idea of paying for tier set cosmetic changes, I don't think that that is such a good idea. And I know that you can pick up old tier set looks in the Darkmoon Fair for tickets and things like that without actually, in inverted commas, earning the tier set. I mean, the silly thing is if you go back to an old tier set now and transmog it because you can blow through the raid in no time at all, there are, I'm sure, people who would look back on the glory days of that raid and say, well, you didn't earn that because you didn't do it when it was hard. And that's fine, that's their attitude, that's fine. But I can imagine that if you were able to pay for it without actually going through the raid, even if it only takes you 5 minutes to do it, to, in inverted commas, earn that piece, I can imagine that there would be a little bit of backlash. So I'm thinking that if there was a paid transmog set, that it would have to be unique and only available through that method, or only available through some other method. If you could pay for it, that you maybe also could buy it using Darkmoon tickets, for example, but that it wasn't something that dropped in quote unquote regular content. So it wasn't something you go out in the world and work for to drop. But I mean, there's arguments on both sides. There's another argument that says, well, why should people only have access to things in the shop that they can't get in game in any other method? So there's no ideal solution to it. But if you're going to have paid for transmog, um, I think a whole transmog set as opposed to just a helm would be better, as long as it's
Oh,
fairly
I see what
unique.
you're saying. A whole set. Yes. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah,
sense.
like the
That
whole
makes
thing,
more
like a
sense. Like a
yeah,
like a coordinated, unified look. That
exactly, yeah.
is, yeah. Now that would make more sense. And that would make more sense. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. But anyway, I reckon if you're going to have pay for transmogs, I would do that. But unless it was a really nice transmog that I really liked and would use a lot, I probably wouldn't pay for it, which is probably why they haven't done it. I don't think we've seen any more helms for like paid for helms on the gear store,
No.
because those paid for helms were not exactly a hit.
No.
I don't think many people bought them.
I think there was a lot of problems. I think people were being rude to each other when you had a person coming into a group and they had that particular look, and then they would kick you from your group
Oh,
because you.
really?
Yeah, it was rudeness.
That's
They
that's
would
terrible.
kick people because they came into a dungeon or a raid, a pug or LFR. No, you can't. Can you? You can kick out of LFR. Yeah. But
Yeah.
they would come into a
You can
group.
vote to kick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they would vote to kick them based on the fact that they had a cosmetic helm, which is sick. It's just like,
Yeah.
why? Are you that childish?
Yeah. It's pretty
It's
bad.
just like it was a person's choice to spend the money. It's their choice to wear it. Um,
Exactly, yeah.
but what I'd like to see is I want to see like like proper riding boots that have a whole heel on them. I need proper riding boots, please.
Now that's
Alice,
interesting because
Alice
that
has
would
determined that proper riding boots are more important than Nikes.
that's actually quite interesting because I think due to the geometry of the foot, I don't know if that would be possible to have a proper heel on them because
Yeah, I know what you're
it,
saying. Yeah, the way that they
yeah,
designed it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the boots conform to the geometry of the feet, so I don't think that'd be possible. But I guarantee that if it was possible, that all the male boots would be like cowboy boots, like they'd
Yeah,
look
yeah,
really
yeah.
normal, and all the female boots would all be high heels because game developers. But
Yeah, I
don't
know,
get me
right?
started on that.
But
Yeah, yeah,
but I would I would
like the
I
plate
would
bikinis and all that kind of stuff.
I would get those. I mean, but you can guy you're saying about the geometry. At least you could like for the hooved ones, like for the Janai
Yeah,
and the Torin, they have high heel black ballet stilettos.
yeah.
So I mean that's a
Nah, not yeah,
possibility.
not so much. Not so much. I don't think.
But no, I do want boots that have. It just annoys me. It says it's boots and it doesn't have a heel, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't like it either.
ah, nah. And we're riding
That's
mounts, and we're
yeah,
riding mounts, and I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna fall off.
yeah, that sets off your. But it's not right. They're not actually boots thing. So,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah,
So paid for Transmog and the Nikes. No Nikes. I
yeah.
would, however, consider the Back to the Future Nikes. That's just
No,
me,
I
though.
would too.
Especially with
Those
the
are
lights on them.
nice.
They're
And
very
you know
cool.
they fit in with the Nikes that the guy linked did not
Yeah.
necessarily fit in with the World of Warcraft.
No.
They didn't fit in well with the theme of the
Yeah.
universe. However,
Exactly.
those Nikes the ones that I put a link in the show notes, those actually could fit in as like kind of like a steampunk type look with
Yes.
an engineering or
Yeah.
you could almost picture the goblins or the gnomes creating them. They kind
Yeah.
of almost fit into the universe, and that's why
Yeah.
I think that the ones that you and they're still Nikes, folks. So that's not that they're
Yeah.
not Nikes, but I just think if you're gonna ask for things to be added, no, I don't think Air Jordan. No, no,
Well,
no.
aside from the licensing problems,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the bit I like about the ones that I posted up is the lights on them. I love anything with lights on it. So any gear with lights or that lights up,
yeah.
um,
And
I'm
that's why
just
I
like,
could see I could see
yeah,
it being in the universe because I could see
exactly.
the goblins or the gnome engineers
Mm.
in their workshops coming up with something like that. To me, it's well, and then the way it's also
Yeah,
higher on the calf,
yeah, yeah,
and it has the calf has the neat detail that's around the top with a little bit
yeah,
of the cutout. So to
exactly, yeah,
me, it's more feasible than
yeah.
like a sneaker.
Well, I think if there was going to be an opportunity for this particular transmog to be added, it probably would have been last year during the 30th
Oh,
anniversary. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
but
35.
anyway, yeah.
35.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, we might move on to our next topic now. But before we do that, I'm going to speak about our second sponsor. So, if you're looking to move to your own web server where you can control everything and you want to get the most for your money out of your hosting solution, then you should look no further than DigitalOcean. They have droplets starting at $5 a month. You can get your very own virtual server up and running in absolutely no time at all. So sign up via our show and you can get $10 in initial credits. That's up to 2 months free. Just sign up at warcraft.chaosportalshow.com/digitalocean or click on the links in our sponsor section on the website. We thank them very much for their sponsorship. Now, let's kick this portal again. Hopefully it works. Oh, what got spat out? What have we got? Oh, this is for you, Alice.
Okay, we have the U.S. Forums, and this is from the Tanking Forums.
Oh.
And it says from Valkia, level 100 Draenei Death Knight, who says, gear restrictions need to end. She says, this is more a personal view, but any tank spec should have the capability to equip a shield. It's one of those strange things that I've never truly understood. It shouldn't be mandatory for anyone, but it shouldn't be restricted either. Seems like Blizzard has been putting more and more restrictions on us as expansions go. Early WoW, we could equip nearly everything, even if it wasn't of any use to us, but we still had the ability to because it fit our own personal fantasies. Now, with Legion coming and making a lot of specs forced to use one type of weapon and only one type, it's starting to feel like we hit a wall. Sure, we are able to transmog to old gear still, but we're getting even more restricted than before. Blizzard says it's trying to enhance different classes' fantasies, but sure don't have an issue killing ours. Very interesting. What do you
Okay.
think?
What do I think? Well, I think that one of the design goals for Death Knights, and I remember this from the Collector's Edition DVD actually, was that every other class, and in fact the second post down by Railhorn, a level 100 Tauren warrior, pointed this out, that Death Knights were designed to tank without a shield. Because every other tank in the game, up until that point, of course you had bear tanks, but all the other tanks, they used a sword and a shield. And part of the design goal for the Death Knight was that they could tank while using a two-handed weapon, which no other class actually can do, if I remember correctly, because Prot Warriors and Prot Paladins both use a sword and a shield. But Death Knights use a two-handed sword, or a two-handed weapon, I should say, because it's not always a sword. Now, I understand the want to be able to use a sword, but the whole design intent behind Death Knights was that they do not use swords. Their methods for dealing with incoming damage are either to parry it or to somehow magically block it. So they don't physically use a sword. That's not what the Death Knight's about. They use their big old runic sword for everything because it's kind of a magic evil sword. So I understand the wish, but I disagree with this person. I don't think that I think that certain restrictions that are in place, they don't. What's the term I'm looking for? They don't remove flavor. They maintain the flavor for people who want to play a class because of the way it plays. So the second post actually defines this really well. If you want to be able to be a Swiss Army knife capable of doing everything, then WoW is not the game for you. So there are restrictions in place to make sure that every class isn't exactly the same. Does that make sense? So, I mean, you can only have so many sword-bearing tanking classes. I mean, you've already got Paladins, Death Knights, and Warriors who use a sword, or a sword and a shield, or a two-handed sword, or, you know, dual-wield swords. And how do you divide them up and make them feel different and not just, you know, three variants of exactly the same thing? And you do it by restricting what they can do and how they can do it. So I understand the wish to be able to do a whole lot more, but in order to maintain the fun for everybody, that's why they have restrictions, so that everybody can be a little bit different and still have fun. What do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I would have to agree because it's you don't want if you make it accessible to everybody, it's like why even have different classes? It kind of defeats the purpose of having different classes. I remember that you used to be able to, as a warrior, you used to be able to have a bow. And you used to be able, because I remember I used to do this. Yeah, was it the smartest thing in the world? No. But I did it anyway. I used to carry around a bow. And what I used to do is when I wanted to pull things toward me, instead of running up to them and hitting them, I would flip my bow into my slot. One shot them with a bow, and then quit, and then switch back to my sword. Yeah. So, was it effective? Not necessarily. Is it the way to play the game? It's a way. Is it correct? Maybe not. But I would do that because my warrior was allowed to equip a bow. Exactly. I think there are certain things that you just kind of need to have in place because that's the way mechanics need to be. And I don't think they're trying to kill fantasy. I think it's just because, and like I said, they removed it. I think rogues also used to be able to equip a bow, if I remember correctly, but I distinctly remember warriors that being removed. And I don't think they're trying to kill fantasy or kill those kind of things. I think it's more of a mechanic. It needs to be in place because of a mechanic. You know what I mean? Does that make more sense to you? Like for example, hunters can't be healers. Well, why? It's killing my fantasy that I can't go out there with my my wolf and me and my wolf can magically heal people. No, that's not.
Arrows at people.
Yes. But you see what I'm saying? It's ruining my fantasy, but there's a reason for it because it needs to be that way because of a mechanic. It's just like the Trinity. You have to have a DPS, a healer, and a tank. It's killing my fantasy that I can't bring all shadow priests to a raid because nobody's a healer. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so there's some. And I agree. It's a personal thing. But I thought I don't know. You still can equip it though? You can still. Am I wrong? Or am I not wrong? Can you still equip the shield? Like I used to do with my bow?
What, with the DK?
I don't, because I'm trying to think. Can I even equip a shield?
I don't think they can even equip a shield. No, not from memory. No.
Okay.
There's actually a post number 4.
Okay, number 4. Let's see.
By Titus Monk, who points this out quite well. Paladins and warriors, the type of tank they are is the sturdy as a wall type. So they sit there, sitting behind their shield, and they absorb the blows. You know what I mean?
Sword and board.
Yeah, but they sit there, they absorb the blows.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Blood Death Knights, they don't so much absorb the blows as they... What does it say? I'll sustain myself with the blood of my enemies tank.
Oh, I like that.
They use. So the reason that they're tanks is they can absorb the damage through magical means, and they kind of they shield themselves in a magical Death Knighty way.
Yeah.
But they do it by being aggressive and attacking the enemy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So, yeah, I understand. I mean, and that seems to be the design intent behind them, because you don't want every tank class to be the same. I mean,
right.
Bear tanks are completely different again. They maintain themselves through dodge and being agile, but also by being strong as a bear. They don't hide behind a shield either. You have to make all of the tanking specs feel a little bit different. Otherwise, everybody would just play the one type, whichever one had the best stats for tanking, as opposed to what felt the best for tanking. So, yeah, I understand the wish, but yeah, I can't see this happening myself. So, and I don't think it should either, just personally. But are there any other gear restrictions that you don't agree with in game? Not just thinking about Death Knights now. So, is there anything else that you think should be? I mean, are there any other gear restrictions that you can think of that you would like removed?
I don't know. I always thought it'd be kind of funny to be a Death Knight and going out there in a dress.
So you mean like cloth gear on
yeah.
plate characters and things like that?
Yeah, but I mean, but then again, I mean, I would just think that would be kind of funny. But then again, that's a mechanic. It has to be there for a reason. I don't know. I guess I would like to see more kilts or more dresses to be available in the armor style. But that's not necessarily a gear restriction so much as it is the armor style. But no, I don't have a problem because it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
The tanks are pretty much your Death Knights, your Paladins, your Warriors are going to wear plate. Of course, your Druids are a completely different animal, haha, pun intended.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Your Druids are different, but to me, the way that they designed it, mages should wear cloth. It's logical. Your rogues should wear leather. It's logical. So I really don't have a problem with it. Although, like I said, from a visual standpoint, I would like more choices, but from a logical standpoint, I kind of get it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those restrictions on gear, like mages wearing cloth and that kind of stuff, that actually came from D&D. That was an old D&D mechanic that was kind of carried over in the early days of MMOs, where basically they were electronic D&D games. And over time, we've seen those restrictions and a lot of those things like weapon skill points and spell skill levels and all of that kind of D&D stuff has eventually disappeared. Stuff like hit rating. Hit rating was a carryover from D&D. And over time, those things have, it's been sort of looked at and thought, well, this doesn't really make a lot of sense in an electronic world where you're not dealing with pencil and paper numbers and that kind of thing. So perhaps we should just remove it. And I'm wondering whether, at least as far as transmog goes, whether removing some of the restrictions on transmog, where you can transmog a cloth piece over a plate piece or vice versa, is that something that would be a good thing? I wonder, would it be appropriate for a warrior running around in, tier 7 plate, or tier what are we up to now? Tier 18 plate, to, on a PvP realm, transmog themselves into a basic cloth set so you can't see what kind of gear they've got as soon as you look at them? I mean, you can already do that, but as soon as you look at somebody wearing plate, you know that they're a plate-wearing class, of course. Is it appropriate for them to say...
know that they're a melee class, yeah.
I mean, let's say you removed all transmog restrictions and you said, okay, I am now a like a prop pally, or I'm a warrior in full plate set, very hard to kill, but I have transmogged my entire set to like the Defias leather set, and I've transmogged my dual wielding huge swords into small daggers. Is that appropriate for somebody on a PvP realm to run up and think that they're facing a rogue or a low-level rogue, at a glance, and then suddenly realize, oh, damn, I'm dealing with this huge juggernaut of a warrior that I can't kill because I couldn't tell because they're not wearing plate?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Very good question.
I
think there's a lot to be said for the silhouette, and having that, and they're starting to break down those conceptions of the silhouette and what you can and can't do. I know that if you have your garrison and you put the I forget which decoration it was that gave you the Winter Wonder Vault machine. Do you remember which decoration it was that gave you that?
I don't remember, because I had a Winter Wonder Vault in my garrison anyway. I didn't think it was actually a decoration that did that.
It was part of the decoration package. One of the decoration packages you purchased gave you that Winter Wonder Vault machine, and you can still
the one I purchased.
Yeah, you can still go in there and become the little gnome. So, because I'm doing that now. So it's like kind of like almost playing with it, because the little gnome character is wearing the little Santa's outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's almost as if they could do it, because they can make my character be this little gnome. My tall blood elf Death Knight becomes this little tiny little gnome in a little cloth little thing, but she's still a Death Knight. So it's kind of interesting, because, like I said, because she can do that. I mean, the effect only lasts like, I think, a half an hour, but still, it's interesting to me. What if they can do that? Why not? Why not let you? Exactly. And then there's those. What are those? I'd have to try it. I know I can do it on my cloth characters. There's there's this set from the Dark Moon Fair. It's fine noblewoman's clothes, fine noblemen's clothes. Do you know what I'm talking about, from the Dark Moon Fair? Yes. And you can transmog that over, and I know you can transmog it over cloth. And what I did was I transmogged it, then mailed it off to another character, and the transmog stayed. So I haven't tried it. I'm gonna have to try it over a I'm gonna try it over a plate character, because I think that counts as cosmetic.
Yeah,
I
anything that
think
is marked as cosmetic, you can transmog
it's
over the top
marked.
of any class. Yeah.
Yes, because there's those socks that you can get, those winter socks.
Yes, the
Those
woolen
are fun.
socks. Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun. Different
Yeah.
colors. I like
Those
those.
those those woolen socks I actually like because they're the same model as the Gnomish rocket boots. And
Yes.
so if you want to have something that looks just like the Gnomish rocket boots, you can transmog those. Again, on a Tauren they look weird because they're kind of up around your ankle. They're more like leg warmers. But
Leg warmers. Oh Lord, today is becoming the shoe podcast.
yeah, exactly. All right. Okay, so at least as far as transmog restrictions, I think yeah, some restrictions are good, but it would be nice to see some of those restrictions removed, or at least some things made into cosmetics that you can change. So I think we might move on to our next item. Oh, look at that! What the? Oh, this has come up for me. Oh, what have we got here? It's Punter Gnome Day. Unchained Boar, who is a Unchained Boar. That's Boar as in the pig, not as in they are very boring. A level 100 Blood Elf Warlock from the Sworn Guild on the Arthas realm, on Horde side, of course. They have suggested, so just like Pirate Day, it would be on the calendar, and on that day, all gnome players are puntable. There are achievements on how many you can punt, getting one with each hair color and such. I think if anything can make Horde and Alliance get along so that we can prepare for the Legion, it is this. I think we're in that stage of the expansion where people are getting a little bit bored and they're starting to think of weird ideas. What do you think? Gnome
They've
Punting Day.
been listening,
I'm
and
going
it
to
should be, sponsored by Chaos Portal.
yeah, I'm going to apologise in advance to Paul Marconen, who's my favourite gnome in the entire world, and I feel awful about these gnome punting jokes for the poor devil. He does take it in good humour, particularly me being a Tauren, but I feel awful when we punt gnomes. I mean, yes, they're little, but I don't know. Maybe that's just the kind of person I am. I don't like punting gnomes. But Gnome Punting Day, could you imagine? I mean, let's just take aside from the fact that we've got kind of not really a trolley, sort of a trolley post. It is fun, but could you imagine on a PvP realm the drama that this would cause if people, not just from the opposing faction, but from your faction, could just run up to you and punt you across the screen while you're trying to do stuff? Could you
Yeah, no.
imagine the LFR? I
Oh
mean,
my God.
seriously.
It's bad enough when you're a rogue and during the turkey
Turkey
holidays,
Loki, yeah.
everybody's putting feathers on you. It's bad
hmm
enough if you're a certain race and class combination and you get a pumpkin head on your head, or
Yeah.
because that happened to me. I get you get the pumpkin head, and of course if you don't log on to that character for a while, it could be the middle of July and you still have a pumpkin head on.
Uh,
Or the one I do like,
the
I don't
bunny
mind
ears.
the bunny ears.
Yeah.
I think that they already have enough of that kind of flavor stuff where you kind of
Mm,
inflict cosmetic changes to those characters.
yeah.
But no, no,
Yeah.
because no.
I think if you were to have a day like this, let's just say it was Punt and Gnome Day, you would not be able to do it to player characters. You would have to have like little gnomes running, like the little Winter's Helpers that were running around in Garrison.
Yes, yes.
You'd have to have NPC gnomes that you could
NPC
run up
gnomes.
to and punt. But I also think that rather than gnomes, could we make it marmots? Because we've already got a puntable marmot pet or toy in game.
No,
Can we
that would
just
be
make
funny.
that?
Yeah,
Puntable
no,
marmots.
now that puntable marmot day. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Exactly. I do love the idea of punting something, but yeah, puntable gnomes. I don't know. That might just be taking the joke a little bit far. Because could you imagine the outrage from all of those gnome players out there? I'm thinking very specifically of EJ from Girls Gone WoW, who is a great gnome aficionado, and of course Mark Conan and all of my other gnome friends out there. I don't like the idea of a whole day being put into game just to punt you. That
Yeah,
sounds really awful.
it does sound sad.
It does rather. I mean, next
You
there'll
know?
be Tauren Barbecue Day, where one day a year everybody
Oh
can grab any Tauren they want to and stick it on the barbecue. That's
no,
awful.
no, no.
I never hear anybody mentioning punting human day. I wouldn't mind punting a few humans. That'd be fine. I'd be alright with punting some humans. But no, not gnomes. That's no challenge. They're too small.
Leave the poor gnomes alone. They
Leave the
have
gnomes alone.
they have enough trouble with their short stature.
Oh,
They don't.
leave gnomes alone. Oh dear. All right, I think we might leave that one there. But Punter Gnome Day, I think we've got a big thumbs down on Punting Gnome Day. So we'll just pull that one off the turntable and leave it. Okay, I think we might move on to our next and final topic. I think we might make this the last one. I think so. Let's kick the portal and see what comes out. Okay, this one has also come up for me. Does anyone here only play one character? This is a post from a Meteor, who on the US General Discussion forums, a level 100 human warlock, puntable, from the Eternal Reckoning Guild on Tichondrius. And their post is very simple. Does anyone here only play one character? I know that's hard in Warlords of Draenor, but I'm really curious. So most of the replies are fairly short. We've got a few people here who are saying, no, I have 30 alts. I don't have the interest or patience to play. And then there's the third reply here that says, I don't have the interest or patience to play more than one character throughout an expansion. So I think that this is a very interesting point. We all know people out there who are real altaholics, and they have lots and lots of alts, and they're not really interested in just playing the one character. But speaking from personal experience, I know that my wife primarily really only plays on one character for the most part. She has a couple of alts, but hardly ever plays them. So where do you fit into this, Alice? Are you an altaholic, or are you not so much?
No, I'm definitely an altaholic. Although I cringe at the terminology main, because I just don't understand that, to me it just doesn't make much sense. I guess if you're a raider, you would have one character that would be the one that you gear up and go and raid with, and I guess that's where the concept of main comes from, is because you would be a raider and that would be the primary character that you gear and raid with, thus becoming your quote-unquote main. I don't play one character. I played a game for many years called RuneScape, in which you were strictly forbidden to play any other characters other than the one that they allow you. There was it was the type of game is that you're supposed to be the one character. There was no alt option, and technically, I mean, I did it, but you weren't technically even supposed to do it. Have another account. And and I did it, and I've since it's years and years ago, but I broke their terms of use, and played another character because it was just frustrating. Because you only had that one choice, and I think for me, once I found WoW and the diversity in characters and the diversity in races and starting zones and just the complete diversity and the benefits. I mean, in some cases there are distinct benefits to playing alts that went out the window. For me at least, because there's just so many benefits. Achievements. I went out and there's an achievement that you have to put. We were talking about the bunny ears. You had to put bunny ears on players over level 18. I went out and I created. Created and leveled the characters up to level 18 so that I didn't have to worry about trying to find a whatever it was.
Fantastic.
So I would do that. Another example would be, I found out
because I have a starter account and I have my regular account, I can play. I could take my. I started doing that achievement for the contender costume, and I
Yeah.
started beating up the. So you could do that. You know, bank storage. A lot of people. I do that too. Bank storage. I create characters, and I will mail goods off to them to either hold on to, or to auction house.
Yeah.
Does that necessarily mean that I play that other character? No, that character just basically sits in a city and just sits there. But
Mm.
to me, WoW is designed so that you can have the option to play more than one character. And I would say that the
Yeah.
majority of the player base does at some point play more than one character.
Yeah.
But I think people have their mains, and like I said, you can define it however you like. I have what I would call two mains. I have one alliance, one horde.
Yeah.
And I'll probably continue that trend once we get to Legion. I'm definitely going to make a demon hunter, and I'm definitely going to make a gnome hunter. So because I'm going to make a gnome hunter, my
Yeah.
demon hunter will probably be horde. And then what I'll end up probably doing is getting them at least to 100 and at least getting them garrisons, because I do like the
Yeah.
garrisons. I do enjoy that.
Hmm. Okay.
So what about you? Do you play more than one? What do you got? Do you have an army like me, or are you a solo Moo's the only character?
Well, no, I kind of change a bit. So I don't really play one character. I do change between a few. I'm certainly not an altaholic. I have a couple, but I don't have a vast army like some people do. So what I tend to find is that I'll start an alt when I'm feeling not so much bored, but like I need to do something different in game. So I have been playing my Tauren Hunter obviously for a long time, and my Alliance Hunter, which was my main for the longest time, years and years ago. I managed to get them up to 100 and got them their level 3 garrison, but once I got to that point, I kind of wasn't really interested in doing anything else with them. Like on Moo, I did a lot of the Tanan jungle stuff, but after I kind of did a bit of that for a while, I sort of got a little bit sick of that, and so I thought he's pretty much been sitting idle in the garrison for quite a while, just doing the dailies there, and going out and exploring every so often, going to Orgrimmar for Christmas and all of that kind of thing. But what I actually did was I started a new rogue, and a Blood Elf rogue, and I am suddenly having a lot of fun with it. And I'll do this from time to time. Like I'll just start a new character and try the first dozen levels.
Yes.
Because it doesn't take very long, and just see how it goes. And I always used to have a lot of trouble with rogues. It was one of those things where I have started about 5 rogues, and I'd get them to like level 10, and I just didn't like them. I didn't like how they played. They didn't feel right. They were too slow. I was forever waiting on energy. All of that kind of stuff. I could never stealth properly. You'd go to run up behind something and it'd turn around and see you straight away, and then you wouldn't do enough damage and all of that kind of thing. But for some reason, and I'm not sure whether it's just because I'm heirloomed up the wazoo, so the leveling is really good.
Heirlooms can help if you do want to play a different class than what you're used to. Having an heirloom can be very, very beneficial especially if you're not used to playing that class. So
exactly.
they do tend to make you a little OP at points.
Yeah, well that might be why I'm enjoying it, because especially now that you get, well, number one, I've got heirlooms out the whatever, and so I am quite OP. Number two, I started a new race. I actually started a Blood Elf rogue, and I haven't played a new Blood Elf for quite a while. But I was trying to think of what race to play as a rogue, and I thought, yeah, Blood Elf works for me. And after, like, I sort of got to level 15, 16, and I'm learning things like pickpocket, and of course stealth, and sap, and all of those kind of things, and I was having so much fun with it.
Yes.
Just running up behind things, and like in stealth, and then sapping them, and then picking their pockets, and then backstabbing them and killing them. It's like, oh, I feel so evil, you know. Not only am I killing them, I'm also first incapacitating them, and then robbing them, and then killing them. It's like this.
You're evil.
It is. It's like this magnificent mwahaha moment. Haha, I got you. Not only can I pick your pocket and you can't fight back, but then I kill you afterwards. It's like, yeah, it's lots of fun. So I've been having fun with that. And so I kind of went pretty hard on that for a while and left all my other characters sitting there. And I've still got things like my shaman that I boosted at the start of Warlords of Draenor. What's going on here? Yeah, my shaman that I boosted at the start of Warlords of Draenor is still sitting like in their mid-90s. I haven't made it to level 100 yet. You know, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I've still got some work to do on that. But this low-level rogue, I was having so much fun on it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
And I think
it's
it's
the other thing as well is, yeah, I haven't got a whole heap of playtime, and so when I do like to play, I like to make sure that what I'm doing is actually getting something done. And I think the heirlooms really help with that because the levels are going by so, I don't want to say quickly, but it actually feels like you're getting somewhere, you know what I mean? Like you can see the level advancing and you ding
Yes.
and you can ding a couple of levels in the night and you actually feel like you're making progress. That's the thing. Whether you
Right.
are making progress is different to whether you feel like you're making progress. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good time in the expansion because we're in that lull between expansions. It's a good time to get out there and experiment and play with these different classes and have some fun. I do recommend, even if you're not an alcoholic, even if that's not something that appeals to you, I do recommend at least trying out each one of the races starting zones. They may not appeal to you, that may not you may not like them all, you may not enjoy them all, but I do encourage folks to get out there and at least try the different races starting zones, because I think some of them are fantastic. My favorite, I think, has to be the Goblin one. I'll go through that. I'll go through that any time. That's just the one that I enjoy the most. But I do encourage you to do that, and it gives you a chance to do some experimentation with different classes that maybe you haven't tried before. You know, like you said, you're having a grand old time on the rogue. Great, that's great. You know, did you delete the other ones? Or do you still have them kind of hanging out there?
No, I kind of deleted them because I got sick of them and I was just like, nah, don't like them, and so I would get rid of them. But
yeah,
you know, it's I guess it's just one of those things where. Yeah, I just thought I'd try them out, and it was like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore, and so I wouldn't.
But you would delete them.
Yeah, I would.
And not like make them into like bangs or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Because that's what I had. I have like you know, on one server I have a hunter, a warrior, a paladin, a rogue, a druid. I'm trying. I have so many, and they end up being Bangals for me. They end up being Bangals, and like I said, they end up being helpful for achievements, for getting pets. They end up being helpful in that sense. And like I said, it's also about finding what you like, the play style that you like. I've determined that I really like the hunter play style.
Yeah.
That's what I me personally enjoy. If I hadn't tried out the alts, I never would have really found that, because the first hunter I started out, Alice was not good at huntering. Alice was the hunterless, was the petless hunter. Before it was a thing, because I believe in Coming in Legion, the petless hunter spec is a viable playstyle. This is before it was a viable playstyle that I got my pet killed and didn't understand how to bring it back. So, you know, so but Tully in our chat room says that they play 20 to 25. You know, and I think that's about what I I'll run through. But the thing is, it does become tedious after a while. Like there was until I got all my heirlooms, I was running alts through Darkmoon Faire to get all the
Yeah.
tickets, which in the long run it benefited me because I had enough alts to spread the tickets around to
Yeah.
get the heirlooms I wanted. But oh my gosh, so tedious. Oh,
Yeah.
just like because
Exactly.
like I would have to have a chart and check things off and figure it out, and in that sense it can be a little much. I can understand why people don't do alts because it can be frustrating
Yeah.
and it can be time consuming.
Yeah.
But I would say I have two mains, and then a whole army of extras. Behind the scenes slaves. I have a whole
Exactly.
army of slaves. And that's probably
Yeah.
what I'm going to end up doing. My Demon Hunter, depending if I like the playstyle, but I think my Demon Hunter is probably going to end up being a garrison slave, just hang out in the garrison.
Yeah.
And then I don't know for sure. I may like the playstyle. I don't know. I don't know enough
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
So
as far as Legion goes, I'm finding that with each expansion that comes out, I have less and less time for alts. So at the
yes, don't
moment,
we all?
yeah, and so at the moment I have at level 100 I have my Alliance Hunter, I have my Horde Hunter, of course, who's Moo, and I call him my main because he's the one I most identify with. So when you have the term main, my main character is the one I identify the most with, and of course I identify most with Moo. So, and my other level 100 I have at the moment is a Dwarven Mage, an Alliance Mage. So he's my other level 100. And the other thing as well with that is that I made to level 100, and I got the quest to go and do the Tanan Jungle Invasion, and I haven't done it yet. It's just sitting there waiting for me to do it because I don't really have a whole lot of... Yes, thank you. I think our producer has entered the room. So I'm just gonna throw this in here. Let's just so I think we'll leave the topic of alts off. So I can't see there being too many people these days that only have one main character, but I'm sure that they are out there. But definitely drop us a line, send us an email, let us know how you play with your alts, because I know that there are people out there who have dozens and dozens of alts. I'm thinking specifically of Sil here, who I spoke to last week from Battle Chat, and I mean there's lots of people out there who really only just play one character, and that's pretty much it. So send us your opinions, let us know. Now, I think we might close the show out there, but before we do that, seeing as he's just popped into the chat room, I want to make a huge shout out there to our listeners for our producer, our wonderful Chaos Portal owner, LeGrayson, who has just, at the time of recording, arrived home from having witnessed the birth of their daughter Sarah. So congratulations to him and Disney Girl 85 on Twitter, Kristen and Jason. Congratulations to both of you on the birth of baby Sarah. We've seen the pictures online. She is absolutely beautiful, and you guys are in for a fun ride with her, I'm sure. So congratulations. Can't wait to see all the updates and pictures and all of that stuff. And it's just a wonderful time. So congratulations to you all. So I just thought I'd put that in here at the show, because although he's in the chat room and on the computer at home, I don't think he's actually on the audio and can't speak right now. So very pleased to hear that news. So on that note, I think we might close out the show. What do you reckon?
Yes, it's time
Alice.
to take our leave of the show for this week.
Alice, hello.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Did I lose
Hello?
Alice?
Hello? Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. Hang on. Ah, okay. I know. I think my mic came unplugged. My earphones came unplugged. Let me try that again.
Hello? Are we still there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello? Is it time to say goodbye?
No. Let me try that again. Okay, can you hear me now? Oh, I can't hear you still.
Hello?
Hello? Ah, that's better. Hang on.
Yay.
Ah, that's better. I'm back on the headset now. It came unplugged for some reason. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
So I was talking for all of that time, and I couldn't see that you were talking, and so I hope I wasn't interrupting anything.
No.
Oh, good.
So, but it's come time to put another show to bed.
Yes, and I've got yet another. Yes, thank you. And I've got yet another edit point to put in, so that's great. Okay, this is going to be fun to do. All right, so if you want to get in touch with our show, you can do it at Chaos Portal Show on Twitter. You can get to our website at warcraft.chaosportalshow.com. You can email us at chaosportalshow@gmail.com, and please do, because we love your feedback. Or you can also call our voicemail. That's, if you're in the US, 801-251-6448. Now, Alice, how can we get in touch with you?
You can find me on Twitter at SoCalWowGal, or you can send me an email to SoCalWowGal@gmail.com.
Okay, and you can get a hold of me at Mooguyver, that's MOOGYVER on Twitter. You can also listen to my old episodes of Spare Parts at sparepartspodomatic.com. You can also email me at sparepartsmailbox@gmail.com. Our show producer did become trapped in the portal, and it spat him out, and now he has a little baby girl. This has mildly affected him, the portal or the baby girl, I'm not sure which. But if you wish to get in touch with him, you can send him a message at Legracen on Twitter. That's LEGRACEN. Come and join the fun. We record the show live every other Saturday at midday to 2 p.m. US Pacific time, or if you're living in the land down under like me, that would be 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Sundays at the moment, during being this time of year. Thank you very much for listening to the Chaos Portal. The portal creates the chaos, and we get to enjoy the fun. We'll see you next time.
All right, time to leave.
All right, I get to go home to Widget.
Oh, no, you don't. Not again.
And that is it.
Yay, we made it through!